What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host and captain and dad, Garrett Morlang, and here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and resident superstar, Adrian Holmes.
Good evening, Mr. Morlang. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. And you know why I'm doing fantastic?
Why is that?
Because that just good for nothing pile of garbage. JJ Purdum's not here tonight to just bring down the energy, you know?
Of course.
He is so focused on himself and his own podcast and being big and famous, you know. He's like, I don't have the time for your podcast anymore.
I don't have the time to BS about playing games like I usually do.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm like, you know what? Good riddance. We don't need you here because you just, you just ruin it, you know? It's not like you're funny or anything.
Right.
Please.
And it's not like you don't actually play. I'm on to you, Purdum. I know. Every time we talk about something, yeah, you know what? And that game is definitely a game. And, you use a controller to play it. Like, oh, okay. All right. You played it.
Right. Yeah, of course you did. Of course you did. Yeah, JJ Purdum is not joining us tonight. He is, he's texting me right now. Get out of here. Get out of here, JJ. We're trying to do a show. Frickin' guy. Good for nothing.
You ought to be watching.
Yeah, right? Where is he? Why isn't he in the chat? Huh? Because he doesn't care. He doesn't care.
About you, Sickening. But we do. We're here.
Sickening. We are here for you each and every week. How you doing, though? How's your week been?
So far, so good. It's a pretty easy Monday, which is rare. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go and watch a movie tomorrow. I don't know what. Maybe just to break up the monotony of the week.
Heck yeah.
But other than that, looking pretty smooth sailing. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. Dude, I'm amped up right now. I just drink some Gamer Sups, GG Energy, baby. So I'm like ready to go. I'm like,
ready to take on the world.
Yeah, I'm ready to just like do some sprints or something. I don't know. But no, it's been a good week. It was a good weekend. I've been back on the soundboard. So I at our church. So I used to help in the past with like doing the audio and the visual stuff. Like I love that. I mean, hence like that's why I do a podcast, because I love doing all the video editing. I love the cameras. I love the microphones. I just love that like all that technology in that and running that stuff. So Sunday I'm back at it, helping at the church I go to, and I felt so good. Like yeah, I haven't felt these sliders in a long time. It feels so good. So yeah, that was kind of a highlight. I was like, all right.
Somebody's like, Garrett is just a soundboard. Stop touching it like that.
No, it is more than just a soundboard.
You're in church.
It is one with me. Me and the soundboard are one. No, but it was good time. Good time being back and doing that. And yeah, it's also for me too. I'm such like a type A personality with like, I don't know, for me it's like I hear and notice like mistakes in different things, like when I'm wherever I'm at. Like it could be at a concert, it could be at church, I could be at a movie, I could be wherever. And like knowing that like, oh, I have the control, I can actually fix it. Like it feels so good. I don't know. Maybe I have a problem. I might have a problem. I need to get checked out.
It sounds like you have too much power, actually.
I might need a therapist or something, but I don't know. I just love like, oh, I can fix that. Like, let me fix it. And now I can.
Let me fix it a little more.
Let me fix it.
Actually, you go sit down. I'll record it and fix it.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about it.
I got this. Oh, man. All right. Well, I think we should get into it. I noticed, it was funny. Adrian and I were chit-chatting before we started here. We had been live for 20 minutes and still were on the stream starting screen. Like, we got to get going.
We had a very fruitful discussion about the timeline of the Star Wars prequels.
Yes.
That's what was holding us up.
It was a necessary conversation in preparation for tomorrow's recording, which I'll talk about here in a minute. JJ's in the chat. He says, it's not a party unless it's a JJ party. Garrett, were you just talking smack? Yes, I was.
Of course.
Of course we were. And you know what? Should I just outright ban him? I should just ban him from the chat right here, you know?
I mean, you could, but I know I just want to make sure that he was here for the part where I talked about how he BS's his way through the show every week, you know? How I'm on to him, you know?
Yeah, we know exactly what's going on.
Now it's time for what you've been playing. Oh well, I've been playing Mass Effect,
Little
and
nightmares.
and it is a game that you use the controller to control, and I do believe that it is on the Xbox platform.
I love it. I just banned him from the chat, so we're good to go now. Now we can carry on with the show. So today we're talking about Discord coming to Xbox. Massive news out of nowhere. Assassin's Creed leaked game, and Bruce... auto-corrected. That is not his name. Bruce Straley's, not Starlet, Bruce Straley's new studio. But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Ka Jr., Bumple Smash, and Eddie Martin. And also our Super Gamer sponsors, Julie Bates and Mama Mare. If you want to be awesome, just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys, where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. You can get episodes early and ad-free, like this show, as well as Adrian's show, Super Gamer Book Club. We're actually recording that. That's what I was mentioning before. We're recording that tomorrow night, hopefully coming out this Friday. There's been a little programming change, as far as we know, right? We should probably announce this now, since it's as far as we might not have a special guest. I know all month we've been talking about Nate Boba Fletcher joining us on the show. Just some things have come up, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to join us. Bummed out about that, but I was like, you know what? We'll have him on again. Actually, we're already planning on having him on again. He's playing a game right now, and he's like, hey, I've started through this. I think he's actually already beat it once before. He's doing a second playthrough, and he's like, we need to do this game as a book club. So I'm not going to reveal what the game is, but he's already
it's going to be in time. It's way out.
Yeah, definitely in time. But we'll have him back. Unfortunately, he won't be joining us this week. It'll just be me and Adrian, though. That'll be fantastic.
Just had to have a family and a job and things to do.
Yeah, right. How dare he have a life? Gosh. But if you want to catch the that episode coming out this Friday, talking about Star Wars Republic Commando, support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Currently, the new episode is the Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII episode with Jeremy Schmidt from Video Games, a Comedy Show. And the free episode, if you want to check us out before you support, it's What Remains of Edith Finch, featuring Adrian and I. That was a fun episode to record, so go give that a listen first, and then come support us, All right, we'll talk more about our Patreon later. One last shout out here to Jack Sriracha and Yate for allowing us to use this fantastic music in the background. We appreciate them. And go support them. You can listen to them on Spotify, Apple Music, links to Spotify in the show description, and go show them some love. All right, it's now time for the mailbag. And let's see.
You have something? No way. Whoa!
I got for Father's Day, I got a ukulele.
Okay.
And I've been getting pretty good at it. This is a little bit of improv. I literally came up with this about 20 minutes ago, right before I jumped on the call with you. But let's see.
This is crazy. I did not expect this. Go ahead. Wait, let me put both earphones in for this one. Hold on.
Hang on. I gotta make sure Is it the? No. What was it?
It's not picking it up, but keep playing because it'll come in the audio.
Okay. Hang on. Let me just double check that. No, that.
This is incredible. I had no idea you were going to do this.
Don't get your hopes up too high, all right? Not going to be too crazy. They're probably not even going to be hearing it on stream. I'm sorry, all you stream people, but if you listen to the podcast later, it'll probably be on there because my microphone picks everything up. Hang on. Ta-da. It's time to check the mail. It's time to check the mail. Yeah. That's it. That's all I got. I love how my warm up was longer than the actual bit, but I was like, hey, you know what? I got to make this good. That's
Hey,
all I got.
you get no complaints from me, good sir. I wish I could play a lick of any kind of string instrument. Okay.
Yeah,
Kudos.
It's been a lot of fun. So I've mentioned before on the show, like I play drums, I can play bass, but acoustic guitars, I've always wanted to learn acoustic, but there's too many strings and my fingers are too big. Although everyone's like, no, your fingers aren't too big. You should be able to play easy. Like, people have bigger fingers. If you
could play a tiny uke, you could play an acoustic guitar.
So what I like about the ukulele, though, it's only 4 strings and not 6, so it's a lot simpler. Chords are real easy, and then they're spaced out pretty far. And this isn't a soprano ukulele. This is a tenor, so it is a little bigger than a normal ukulele. So it's basically more like a mini guitar with 4 strings. So it's been really easy to learn. Like I was like, oh, I can handle this because chords are like 2, maybe 3 notes at like frets at most. Where like an electric or not electric, but acoustic guitar, it's like I'm using all 4 of my fingers and they're like spread out everywhere. I'm like, I can't do this. But yeah, now ukulele is awesome. Like I highly recommend if you want to learn any stringed instrument, that's probably the easiest one you're ever going to learn. So pick one up, and you get it for like $50. They're so cheap.
Now, are you the first to put a bit in the bit bag? Is what I'm hearing right now?
Yeah, I think that was the first bit in the bit bag. I didn't technically submit it to the bit bag, but I mean, that was it. So if you guys have a bit that you want to submit, you want to start off the show with, send a video, an audio clip, whatever, and we'll insert it at the beginning of the mailbag segment. But there you go. There's my little jingle for you guys.
Amazing.
All right. This first question comes from Sir Prince-A-Lot, and he asked, what's a childhood storybook story that you think would make a good game, and what type would it be? I think it'd be hilarious to make a Hades type where you're the big bad wolf trying to beat Red Riding Hood to Granny's house, but she keeps beating you. That's a pretty good one. That's pretty good. I love the idea of it like being like a roguelike as well, where you just keep dying, or at least just keep getting.
You have to outsmart Little Red Riding Hood.
Get to right. So good. Any fun ones you can think of? Any fun like child? I don't think it necessarily needs to be like a classic childhood story like Red Riding Hood, but anything from any old storybook or something or book you read as a kid that'd be a fun game.
I think, and I mean it's an easy one, but I think it'd be interesting to make like a chill, kind of relaxing game where you play as Geppetto in his toy shop, and you just like you make toys, and you just like you can like shave wood, or you can paint something, or you can what I mean?
Yeah,
you can put stuff together. You can make your own little custom toys that fit pieces here and there. And, eventually, maybe like you build up your skill enough, and then you can finally, like the last part of the game is you make Pinocchio.
Dude, that'd be sick. I would love to see. Yeah, like I could see like an indie studio putting that together and just being like super chill, almost like unpacking essentially, where there's like different stages maybe throughout his life. So like you see like a simpler toy at the beginning, and then they slowly get more complex until like you
get a little older. Now you have your shop is established, and then now it's time.
Yeah, and maybe there's even like a down period where like like oh man, he's just struggling like artist and trying to like make things right. Oh man,
or a failed relationship, or you know what I mean, or something like maybe he had a wife that he intended to have a son with. And, maybe she didn't end up making it, but he always wanted a son. Boom. Pinocchio.
Dang. Now it's getting real. Real in here.
See? Pinocchio, a Naughty Dog game.
Now the game's going to make me cry. Dang it.
A Naughty Dog game.
A Naughty Dog game. I hope not. For me, I think, I don't know. Okay. Stick with me here.
Okay. I'm riding.
I imagine like a Katamari game or a I don't know, a type of game where you're collecting like objects or things around the world, and it's not necessarily like calculated. It's just like kind of chaotic, but it's a very hungry caterpillar. Like that's what I see. You're just like rampaging across the world and just like, or almost like a donut county. Like you move the hole around, and you're like,
but you're a
like,
hungry caterpillar.
But imagine instead of a hole in the ground, you're like a giant caterpillar, and you got to go through the world, and you're slowly getting bigger and bigger and eating things until like the entire world's just eaten by this giant caterpillar.
Now, is it based on the story of the hungry caterpillar, or is it just so happens to star that character?
I think it would start as that. It would start and like it would be based off that book, and maybe even have that art style. That'd be kind of fun. Like I forget the artist's name, Eric something. Can't remember his last name, but yeah. And then but slowly, instead of like stopping at, the cupcake and the pizza and the whatever, like he just keeps eating until he's eating like everything. Like he's like,
he becomes a threat.
And then he's become, instead of like hatching out, just becoming a normal butterfly, he hatches out and he's like Mothra or something like that. In the end, he's like, Godzilla's BFF,
I mean, somebody can make it happen.
Oh man. Please, that would be so much fun. All right, this next question comes from CJM, and they ask, what are your top 3 video game opening cutscenes? Ooh.
Man, that is a tough one. Good grief.
I have 2 right off the bat.
Okay. MGS2.
No. Well, I was going to say MGS4. I love Metal Gear Solid 4. The monologue from Old Snake and that music is so like emotionally stirring. Like it's just like, oh my gosh, like it is like so intense, and just literally the entire weight of that world is put on your shoulders. You're like, oh my gosh, like I need to get in here and save this world, because like it is a disaster with like, setting the stage for all like the private military companies, and the world's run by, by war and the economy of war and ID tag soldiers and ID tag weapons and all this stuff. Like, oh man, it's basically the world today, but it's like,
you're preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the world's #1 MGS4 fan. Okay. I'm right there with you.
It's a beautiful opening cutscene, and again, like the music makes it. Like the music is so, I love it. It's so emotional and so intense, and like goes perfectly with that monologue from Snake. And the second one is Death Stranding, but it's because again, it's like such a bizarro world that you're just thrown into. I think that's why I like it the most, because it's just so like you just don't know what you're gonna get, what you're expecting, and all of a sudden it's like you're introduced to so much in that opening cutscene. Like it's like, okay, Norman Reedus on a bike. All right, he crashes into this lady that can teleport or disappear or poof, like just disappears. Oh, okay, it rains now, and the rain kills things and makes you old, and whatever. Like there's these weird handprints on the ground in the side of the cave. Like, what the heck is that about? There's weird floating things in the sky. Rainbows are upside down. Like it's so bizarro and crazy. Like I love that. And then obviously like the soundtrack of Death Stranding is fantastic again. So like all of that mixed with like
the soundtrack is so good. Leroy went crazy.
Yes, I love it. And I mean, what I love too is like Low Roar didn't write those songs for the game. Those were songs they already had, but they fit so perfectly. Like it's almost like
I didn't know that. I thought they wrote them for the game. That's crazy.
Those are songs pulled from albums that they've put out like years ago, they like, oh man, it so fits the atmosphere fantastically. So I know everyone's gonna be like, oh, of course he said the Hideo Kojima games, whatever. You know what?
Did you buy that PC case?
They're good.
You coward. Speaking of,
no, I just spent like $200 on this brand new PC case. I'm not going to spend another $150 on.
But it's straight from Kojima himself.
I know. So there's a limited edition Death Stranding PC case, and I want it so badly. But
why don't you sell the case you have now?
Because this one's white and it has all glass and it's
gorgeous.
But is
it a Bridges case?
No, it's not.
See.
But then I'd have to redo my whole like office. Like I have a white desk, I got the white speakers, I got the whole white stack like shelves. Like if I could pull bridges in here, then I'm gonna have to go like blue and orange and everything. I'm gonna have to paint my desk blue and orange. That would be sick. I'd totally buy an airbrush.
You could put the BB unit right there on it too as a desk decoration.
Oh, man,
See?
don't tempt me, Adrian. I need to think about a third opening cutscene, but do you have any thoughts on yours?
One of my favorites is from the Doom Eternal. Like I don't know, I can't remember. I think it was the first cutscene where you hear all the screams and the cries of the planet down below when you're up in space, right? And then the music starts to build up, and you see like the Doom Soldier, like he's putting his gear on, and then you hear the monsters are taking over, we're all gonna die, and you see him grab the shotgun shells, and it's, oh my god, I'm getting hyped just talking about it, and like everybody evacuate, get out of here, and you hear like women and children screaming, right? And then he puts his helmet on, and that's like the last piece. And then the drop of the music comes in, and it cuts to where it just says in huge letters, Doom Eternal. And the music is blasting at full volume, and it comes back. And then it comes back, and then at the last two notes, you rack your shotgun in the time with the music. Oh man, that is so good.
I love, like, that's such a like cliche thing, but it always feels so good every time. Like I don't care. I feel like everyone does it, whether it's a music video for a TV show, a movie, a video game. But I love like when inevitably they're like the like in time with the music, like cocking the shotgun. It's like, oh my gosh, it's so good. I've never heard of like a bad use of it.
I get goosebumps every time I watch that. Like there's a trailer of it on YouTube, and I pull it up. I put my good headphones on too, so it bumps extra hard. Man, that is such a good opening scene, dude. It's hard to top.
That's good. That's a good one.
Let me see. My next one. Now, he said cutscene, right? Not like a gameplay section, right? He said
it's cutscene. Yeah, okay. So I like a cinematic or something, I assume. So another one for me, my last one, I guess it would be, is the intro to the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, I don't know. I love that. Like it's a gorgeous CG trailer. Starts out with like Aerith with her cart flowers, the Mako energy coming out of the tube. It slowly zooms out. You know, it's showing the world a little bit. You know, zooms in on the train, like awesome music playing, Cloud on top. He jumps off, fights a couple people. Like, I don't know, that whole thing is like just so cool. Such a cool like introduction to this world, because it kind of like zooms in and out of like different areas real quick, and kind of gives you like an overview, like, hey, this is where we're at. Okay, this is what we're doing. Again, the sound design and soundtrack for that game, so incredible. So I think that's another one for me. My last one, Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I think another one for me in terms of, I guess you could say impact, would be Mario 64. I think the way that they started that off with not only like showing you the improvement in model quality with Peach at the very beginning, but then they take you all the way out to the outside of the Mushroom Castle, and then they have Lakitu like flying all through the area. Like this is a fully rendered, for 96, a fully rendered 3D area. Like he's going under the bridge of the castle. He's going through the moat. You know what I mean? Going all around, and then it finally pulls up to a slow stop at a pipe that's coming up out of the ground. And who shoots out of it? But for the first time in history, Mario popping out in 3D. That was mind melting at the time. Because you had previews of it, of course. But like, I'm talking about as far as a product. Like if you never showed anybody that product that was our age at the time, it would have blew your mind. It would have blown your mind. And it did. I knew it was coming, and it did. Because you know, when you see it on TV, it's always like, oh man, that looks so cool, but you never know if they doctor it up for TV.
Right.
Nope. That was the actual thing in my house on my TV, working just like they advertised. And that was incredible.
That's awesome. So good.
I don't know if this counts as the opening one though. I mean, it's not the opening. I was gonna say Saints Row 3, when you parachute out of the plane and you take over that top warehouse, or not the top of the penthouse, to establish your crew and kick out the crew that was residing there. But I don't think necessarily that's the I don't think that's the opening. No, it's not, because that's the opening one is where you rob a bank. But it's supposed to be like a scene for a movie, but they're disguising it like that so they can actually rob a bank. Oh,
I want to give an honorable mention to the Tony Hawk Pro Skater openings, like for PS1 and PS2, like all those early ones, like Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1, 2, even like 3 and 4, like all the way. They always had like awesome soundtrack, like an awesome song. I mean, it's basically just a bunch of video clips of, skateboard, like not from the game. Like it was usually like real life footage of like skateboarders just doing sick tricks, but like with like the awesome music soundtrack that they always had. So shout out to like Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, always just getting you hyped as you get into like jumping into the game. I always love those.
I mean, I guess. Oh, duh. BioShock.
Oh, dude. Yeah. So
I mean,
good.
it's. I guess I'm gonna have to bend the rules a little bit, because you are technically playing, but really it's all part of one big intro cutscene, like getting you to the bathysphere to get to.
I would count that. I would count that because it's very cinematic.
You really can't do anything but move.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. Seeing Rapture for the first time, like going under when they bathysphere first takes you down. Mm-hmm. And just seeing like the magnitude of Rapture for the first time, and just how it's like it's almost like a piece of, what's the word? A piece of art that somebody made, but you can actually it's a painting that you can actually go into, in a sense.
Yeah.
It's a painting of a fallen kingdom, which is really cool. Yeah, I would definitely say BioShock, I think, would be another one. One of my top 3.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
That was a tough one, because there's a lot of good.
Tough one. Yeah. All right. So listen, CGM has another question for us. If you could pick your own 5v5 video game characters in a good versus evil Survivor Series type fight, which would you pick? Pick 5 hero characters, 5 evil characters. Do we want to work together on this one? Come up with 10 characters and see if we can. So who would we want on our good team, the hero team?
I feel like you have to have Mario, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we got to have Mario.
I think that goes without saying.
Yeah. We have Master Chief.
On a good guy team?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he was the bad guy in 5, so
I never played 5. Doesn't exist to me.
343 tried, all right. I mean, okay. I would also put. I'm trying not to Nintendo-ize the list, because there's a lot more than Nintendo characters out there.
I mean, but there's a lot of solid Nintendo characters.
There are a lot of solid Nintendo characters, but
a lot of solid heroes too. Yeah.
Right. I feel like they should maybe be 2 out of 5 at best.
Okay. Now, I'm trying to think.
Are you trying to go ambiguous?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I'm trying to, because
Snake's not a good guy.
No, I'm not going to Snake, because like he's great as he is, he doesn't really work great with a team. I mean, we have one from Nintendo, one from Xbox. So like, who if we were to, pick one from PlayStation, then like, who would it be? Are we picking like
the easy answer would be Nate.
That's what I was gonna say, like a Nathan Drake, or
That'd be the
or do we
easy
or do we go with? Wow, I was gonna say, or do we go with like a Kratos? But he's kind of on the
not a good person.
He's
that whole game was about how he's not a good person.
that's he's on the edge. He's a little iffy.
Man, this is tough because Jin's not a good person. Really, he's done a lot of underhanded stuff.
Let's go with Spider-Man. You see,
yeah, but he's not a PlayStation.
No. I know. It's kind of cheating. I would just go with the classic, good old like Crash Bandicoot, baby. Just like no.
Jack.
Yeah, I mean, other than Dark Jack, but I mean, I guess he's.
Dark Jack is not Jack though.
I mean, he isn't too when you turn into Dark Jack.
Come on now, you know what I mean.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, we could go with Jack because he's proficient not only in like melee combat but weapons as well.
Right.
Like ranged weapons, so he has a good like range of attacks. Because like Mario's got like the up close thing, Master Chief is more of a range, but then Jack has a good mix of the two.
Right.
So all right, so two more heroes. I mean, we gotta go with like I'm trying to think. Who's another good like warrior? I'm trying to think of the games. Oh, dude, you gotta have Samus.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm down with that. Now, can we do? This is hard.
Here's a good
Really
one.
hard.
Here's a good one.
Yes.
We were gonna say Nate would be the easy choice, but I'm gonna throw you a curveball because I feel like she can really help out here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say Lara Croft.
Okay.
I think she has not only the combat mindset, which she evolved over, the games that we'll say the Crystal Dynamics trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
But she definitely has exploration skills just based on the games alone. She's tough as nails because she lived through those games.
Yeah.
So I don't see why not.
I think I can agree with you there. Like
I was also gonna put FemShep.
Definitely. Okay. I mean, I almost said like Commander Shepard, but I've never played the MSFAT games. But just from what I've heard, I'm like, I feel like it'd be pretty badass. Like I think they'd be able to hold their own for sure.
She would be a good leader of the team. You know what? Oh, this is a tough one. Oh boy. Let's go, Lara. Let's go, Lara.
Okay. I mean, she can definitely hold her own. And yeah, we know she's tough. Like she can take a beating and keeps surviving because she's tough as nails.
Yeah.
I'm good with that. Now for evil characters. I think it'd be now. My first thought was like Mr. X from Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's a solid choice.
I think that's a solid one.
I would have said Nemesis because I feel like Nemesis is the more.
For me, honestly, though, like, and again, I think it more comes down to just even the quality of the remakes because having not played the originals, I enjoyed Mr. X as an enemy in Resident Evil 2 remake than Nemesis in the 3 remake. But overall, I didn't like the 3 remake as a game. I thought it was kind of poorly paced and done. But I could see like coming from the original. From what I remember hearing from people, like he was just absolutely insane. But yeah, I'm good with either. Like from my experience, I like Mr. X, but again, from the originals, I know Nemesis was pretty like insane.
Let's see. See, it's tough because you want to go like you can go universe destroying beings, but that's not really a fair fight per se.
Right. What if we go with like a Ganondorf or something?
Yeah, that's a pretty solid pick.
Like he's a big beefy dude, tank of a guy. And so what are we at? We're at Mr. X. We're at Ganondorf. We need someone who's like smart, who's like a good like brainy kind of person, like the strategist.
Gladys.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah. She'd definitely be the brains behind the operation.
Yeah. Kind of the computer behind the computer, you know. And then 2 more, man. This is hard for bad guys because you're right. It's like we could just pick something and be like, yeah, they can destroy a whole galaxy, but it's like.
But you want it to actually be a
fun 5v5 like fighting game or something like that. That would be fun. Yeah, I'm thinking about this now. Yeah, in the context of like this being a 5v5 fighting game, like Gladys, like being able to like shoot portals and almost like Gladys doesn't necessarily have an attack, but it can redirect attacks. So like if you go to attack it, it shoots a portal and then like you hit yourself. Like it's almost like a counter. That'd be sick. Not that Gladys really has that ability, but just being connected to portal. Like
I mean, she can.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't really know the extent of her abilities. So
yeah, I would like to think like, yeah, she would have some sort of like portal shooting ability. And then like, yeah, it's just basically all they can do is counter attacks. Gladys can't do actual attacks, but it's like you go to punch and like, shoom, all of a sudden it comes back and punches yourself in the back of your head or something like that. 2 more baddies, huh?
God.
What is now can we pull
Giovanni.
Oh, dude, with a Pokemon team of like shadow Pokemon or something like that. Yeah. That's what I want to see. I want to see like shadow Pokemon from Pokemon Coliseum show up and just like, oh man, that'd be sick. A bunch of evil Pokemon. All right, so we need one last one. Can we go with what's the big one of the big bad guys from like Gears of War? Like I think that'd be sick. Just coming in. That's like
what's his name? Commander.
Yeah.
Commander. Oh my God. I played all 5 of those games. Commander Gore? No. Now I gotta look it up. Vamp for me.
Yeah, I just think like having that toughness, and even as like a special ability, being able to like call in like a swarm of something, you know, like that would be so sick. Yeah, yes, Locust, but like maybe there's different levels. Like you can charge up your super, and so like the low end is you get like little Locust creatures, and then at the higher end you get like a squad of like people just come on the screen shooting stuff up and then disappearing. That'd be sick. Because with their hive mind, you can like control all of them or something. Like they're all on the screen at once, just for like a few seconds, like a Smash Brothers Super or something like that. Yeah. And then, Giovanni. I that was a really good pick. I like the Giovanni pick because my mind immediately went to like shadow Pokemon and attacking people and stuff like that. Like the evil forms of them.
Why can I not find this guy's name? Am I crazy?
Does he not have maybe he doesn't have a name.
It's not Command. Okay, General Ram. General Ram.
There we go.
I kept thinking Commander. That was throwing me off. I knew it was like a rank. It was a military rank villain. Good grief. Why could I not remember that?
Well, there you have it. There's our 5v5. What a crazy lineup. But you know what?
That took a while to get through.
That's a fun idea. Like imagine like Smash Brothers essentially, but like with.
I mean, a lot of those people are already in it.
That's true. But with everything, so good. All right, this last, it's not a question actually. It's just kind of, I guess there is a question here, but it's more of just like a little note. This actually came to us from Instagram. Yes, we had a friend DM us through Instagram. This is from Clayle the Turtle Man Ricketts. We haven't heard from Clayle Ricketts in a long time. For long-time listeners, you've heard of Clayle once or twice. They chime in every once in a while. For newer people, Strap in. Here we go. Hey there, it's Clail again. Got me one of them newfangled cell phones, and my niece gun taught me how to use this here Instapot. I appreciate y'all's radio station. I thought you ought to know I've been playing duck hunt down here in the swamp a lot lately. Ever since I got that stimmy check, I've been in the AC a lot more. Y'all ever play duck hunt? I'll hang up and listen to your answers. So Clail is a good redneck friend of ours who writes in from time to time. Apparently, he's got his hands on Duck Hunt. Now, is that a game that you have much experience with?
I do. I have played Duck Hunt before. Yes.
Okay.
My question is, are we sure he's talking about the same Duck Hunt that we're talking about? Like, is he actually hunting ducks, or is he playing Duck Hunt?
You know what? You bring up a good point. You probably hit the nail on the head. You know what? Yeah, he's probably not playing Duck Hunt like we thought. That's funny. Well, in that case, have you ever been duck hunting?
I have not been duck hunting, unfortunately.
Okay. But you have played Duck Hunt.
I have. I've hunted virtual ducks many a time.
Yes. Oh man, that's funny. That didn't even cross my mind. Yeah, no, that's probably what he's talking about. I have done both. I have played Duck Hunt and I have gone duck hunting, and both very fun. Both very fun to do. Thanks for writing in, Clail. It's been a while since we heard from him. The last time we talked to him, he had a snapping turtle in the tub. He's getting ready to make turtle soup, stew, not soup.
It must have went well. He's still alive.
He's still alive, and he's doing well through. He's doing well through all the COVID lockdowns. He got that stimmy check, and so he got himself an AC unit. That's nice, especially down south where it's hot and humid.
That's a good use of funds.
Yeah, good use of funds. Get an AC unit. So good on you. Thanks for writing in, Clail. We appreciate it. Hope to hear from you more. But now it's time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes. You got a bid for it?
No, I don't have any bid. All right. This first question comes from This first story. First news story. Ooh. Next bit. Next segment. Here we go. This news story comes from Ash Parrish over at The Verge, and they write, Discord voice chat is coming to Xbox. That's right. Discord and Microsoft are bringing Discord voice calls to the Xbox. A feature available now to Xbox insiders and coming soon to the rest of us will allow users to connect to Discord voice chats from their Xbox, facilitating all kinds of cross-platform play shenanigans. The process of connecting your Xbox and Discord accounts and starting up a voice chat is pretty involved. First, you have to we're not reading the step-by-step. Microsoft and Discord will start rolling out this new integration to select Xbox insiders today, and it will expand into more testers in the coming weeks. It's not clear exactly when all Xbox owners will get Discord voice chat support, but Microsoft usually tests new Xbox features for a few weeks or months before rolling them out more broadly. We're still waiting to hear more about Sony's promised Discord integration for PlayStation. Okay, you were right. So before the show, you said, didn't PlayStation have something with Discord as well? I thought it was just a rumor, but apparently it's not. Sony promised something. Sony partnered up with Discord last year and also invested an unspecified amount of money into Discord as a minority investor, weeks after rumors Microsoft was trying to acquire the platform. The only Discord and PlayStation integration that has appeared so far has allowed Discord and PlayStation Network users to simply link their accounts. But many were hoping to see much deeper integration or a Discord app after Sony promised to bring the Discord and PlayStation experiences closer together on console and mobile. Interesting.
Sounds like whatever that was flopped.
Yeah, I mean, as far as we know, PlayStation is still a minority investor, which is crazy. So, like, that's kind of crazy that nothing's happened. Like the fact that they would invest a ton of money into this company and then be like, we're just gonna,
that
stick
was
with
like
a
year ago
pattern.
at this point, wasn't it?
Yeah. Let me look. I can look at the news story here. It's linked. That was May of 2021. Yeah. So over a year ago, Sony promised they were integrating Discord in some way, and we haven't seen anything. So granted, there's been a lot of changes with PlayStation recently with the PlayStation Plus packages. So maybe that's coming in the months ahead here, potentially. Maybe it was one of those things where like they wanted to get their PlayStation Plus reconfigured, get everything dialed in, and then start bringing in new features. Like,
so
hopefully it's not behind a paywall, obviously, but I wonder if they wanted to get their their online
man,
services straightened out. But
I'm not putting anything past them. Okay, I'm not putting anything past anybody putting anything behind the skate wall. Or it was subconscious that says skate.
I love that. Yeah, we talked about that last week. Skate's paywall.
A paywall.
Real quick here, Trouser Schnauzer rating with a party of 5. Welcome into the show.
Hey, what's going on, Trouse?
Thank you so much for that raid. We're just talking about Discord and Microsoft teaming up, but what were you saying about the paywall?
I said I wouldn't trust any of these companies to not put something behind a paywall when they say that they're not gonna. So, so how does this work? Is it like the full-on Discord app on Xbox, or is it going to replace Xbox Party Chat, or like is it going to be an alternative option to it?
I think it's a separate app. So like you'll still have Xbox parties, but you'll also have Discord available in order to play like PC games and stuff like that. Granted, Xbox chat parties is also on PC through game, but it sucks. Like it really sucks. I hate it. Like at least the interface sucks in order to use it on PC. So I think as far as making crossplay between Xbox and PC more enjoyable, I would hope it's. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't really say that I can see how it's integrated. But because I hope it's integrated. Like if it was streamlined on this console, that would be fantastic. Like if it's just like
that's what I was gonna say. If they can make Discord work and feel just like how easy it is to get into a party on an Xbox, right, I'm all for it. But if I have to go through and I have to click Discord and open Discord and then find people on Discord, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Make it as simple as, do you want to use Xbox to chat or do you want to use Discord to chat? And that's like a one-time choice I have to make. And then I make it to where I don't even realize it's through Discord at this point.
Yeah, that's what I hope it would work. Again, I don't have an Xbox, so I can't test or anything like that. But if anyone out there is part of the Xbox like beta testing thing and like is able to use it, like let us know. But
I'm an insider. I don't know why I didn't get the invite, but they did say they were rolling it out.
Slowly rolling it out to insiders. So this is huge though. Like this is such a big thing. I mean, because for so long, anything cross-play, basically the only way to do group chat would be like if the game included it.
Through the game itself.
So like now like games don't even have to offer that anymore. Like, which, in turn will just make developing for these games easier. Granted, I can't imagine voice chat's super hard to do. At this point, it's probably just a plug-in they can download from online and just dump in there. But still,
I mean, you can ask Nintendo. Apparently, it is very hard to do.
That's true. Nintendo has not figured it out. That's true. But super stoked for this. And now I am wanting the PlayStation integration. Like, where is that?
It has to be coming. They wouldn't have just dumped all that money in Discord for nothing.
Yeah, it seems crazy that they would like invest in this company and then be like, all right, like
we're out of here.
You can link your accounts. So, but yeah, basically the only thing that's changed in the past year is it used to be like how on Discord you can see what other people are playing. Mm-hmm. Like obviously before you couldn't see PlayStation games. Now you can. So that's the only thing that's changed in the last year is you can link your account. So if you're playing on PlayStation, you can be like, oh, Garrett's right now on his PlayStation playing Death Stranding as he always is. So yeah, it's kind of bizarre.
Lackluster.
But hopefully now with this new rollout of the PlayStation Plus services and they're getting that, like, I would hope that like, okay, they can feel ready enough to launch an app like that. Again, hopefully not behind a paywall, but Sony's disappointed before, so I also wouldn't be surprised. All right, this next news story coming to us from Eddie McCooch over at spot. Assassin's Creed game Project Red revealed in leak, may be set in Asia and included with Infinity. New details have come to light about Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed series. According to multiple reports, a new open-world Assassin's Creed game codenamed Project Red is in the works. May be set in Asia and could be part of the upcoming live service game Assassin's Creed Infinity. Kotaku reported on Project Red's existence, while Bloomberg's Jason Schreier said Project Red is part of Infinity as opposed to a separate game. Sources speaking to Kotaku said this game, whatever it may be, could be set in Asia. Reporter Jeff Grubb of GameSpot's sister site Giant Bomb said it may be set in Japan. Kotaku's own sources could not confirm this, but the site's insider said Japan as a setting for Assassin's Creed has long been discussed internally. As no surprise, as Ubisoft has spoken openly over the years about how Japan has been considered as a setting for a future Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed Memories, a mobile game, was set in feudal Japan, so it's not totally uncharted territory for the franchise. They keep talking about this Assassin's Creed Infinity. I must have missed a part of news because I don't understand what this. Do you know what Assassin's Creed Infinity is?
I've actually never heard of it. Is it like a canceled game or like a code name for one in development or?
No. So I'm just finding out about it now. I'm clicking through some news articles. So here's what news came out back in May, apparently. Is there anything more updated? I feel like there has to be something more up to date than that, I've never heard of this. But anyways, from this Jordan Ramey over at GameSpot from back in May, Assassin's Creed Infinity, everything we know about Ubisoft's upcoming live service game. So they're coming out with a live service game apparently reported on as rumor before being confirmed in a Ubisoft blog post. Assassin's Creed Infinity is an upcoming multiple games in one package service game. That's a big departure for the Assassin's Creed franchise to take, which has largely been a series of individual games that heavily explore a single location and setting. Below, we've rounded up everything we know about Infinity as we head into Summer Game Fest, blah, blah, blah. So apparently it's going to be a single game, but it's going to have multiple locales and historical periods and evolve over time. Multiple games are being packaged together with the potential for each to play differently and utilize its own unique mechanics and settings. So it's basically...
I started to get sleepy when you said live service.
Yeah, so it's like a live... Well, it actually doesn't say live service. It says it's a service game. I don't know what that means. It's not a live service game. It's a service game. But it's going to have, multiple locations and time periods and all that stuff. So you can just go to a menu and be like, I want to play here, and then you just teleport there. I don't know how I feel about that. And especially if this new Project Red is a part of that. Like, that's kind of a bummer.
Well, bringing it back to Project Red. We were talking a little bit before the show, and I was saying, I don't know if they just started development on this or if they've been looking into it for a little while, but it's kind of, it almost seems like it's too late. You got beat to the punch. You know, what you're making right now, Sucker Punch literally already fulfilled that niche with Ghost of Tsushima. It's exactly what people were looking for, which is in no, certain terms, a Assassin's Creed type game based in Japan. What more can they do except the same thing with a different coat of paint? It even had the world exploration, the tasks, the towers, upgrading your character, all that. Yeah, and honestly, I feel like it would only be like it would be smaller. Like, I can't imagine they go as big as what Ghost of Tsushima did. That the world they created there was so huge, and the fact that you can like ride your horse from one end to the other to like this huge world. Because that's one thing with Assassin's Creed is they're like, it is very. Again, I guess I haven't played any of the more recent ones, but oh no, you know what? I did play Origins. That one was pretty big. But still, not as big as Odyssey
Tsushima.
Was huge.
See, I never played Odyssey. I heard Odyssey was pretty big.
It was like too big.
Yeah.
That map was too big. I was like, I don't want to explore all this. I'm out.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. You're right. I don't know how they could change that formula. Like the only thing they're going to change is adding a weird storyline with like a weird cult that you're a part of and stuff like that. Like that's essentially what it always comes down to, is like just the weird storyline of Assassin's Creed, which is like the Assassin's Order and the Templars. Like that's all that'll be different. Otherwise, it's essentially the same game. So unless they can actually make that a good, interesting story between the Templars and the Assassins, like
it might end up being another waste of money.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they have fun gameplay, but so did Ghost of Tsushima. That felt extremely
I was gonna say
good.
they're really gonna have to pull out all the stops to make the case of why they need to make this. When I'm sure they were clearly aware that Sucker Punch was making something like this during their development. So what spurred you to press on and continue to make this game is what I'm curious about.
Although technically the leaks only say it could be set in Asia. Jeff Grubb is the only one who said anything about Japan. Everyone else is just saying it could be Asia. So I mean, it could be in China. It could be in India. Like it could be like Asia's a big continent. Like there's a lot of area
That's
in
fair
there.
too.
So it could be different. And if it is, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, I thought the leaker was mentioning Japan.
Only Jeff Grubb said something about Japan. Everyone else has said it could be Asia. I mean, Japan seems like the more probable choice because that's what people have been begging for years from Assassin's Creed. But technically, the leak is just Asia. I mean, even if it's being Project Red, I don't know. My first thought is China. The big red. The Communist Party over there. Maybe it's China. Like, I don't know. Who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. Wait and see what happens. Hopefully it's not part of that live service thing. That doesn't sound great. But we'll see. We'll definitely keep you guys up to date here on the podcast. This last news story comes to us from Tom Ivan over at VGC. Former Uncharted and Last of Us director Bruce Straley has announced a new studio. Naughty Dog veteran Bruce Straley has announced his return to game development with a new studio called Wildflower Interactive. Straley spent 18 years at Naughty Dog, where he served as co-game director on Uncharted 2, The Last of Us, and Uncharted 4, before stepping away from game development 5 years ago. In 2017, I left the industry not sure if I wanted to make games anymore, he said in a video announcing his new venture. But the longer I was away, I kept thinking about this medium and everything yet to be done and everything I wanted to do still. And this idea kept following me. So I grabbed some friends and we started prototyping, and the idea started getting good. It started becoming exciting again, and I realized I need to make this game. But if I'm going to make this game, it means I have to build a team, he continued. And if I build a team, I have to build a company. And, well, if we're going to do that, then we have to do it the right way. It has to be inclusive, equitable, and collaborative, full of big-hearted people.
And we need to hire 100 people and we need development budget to be $150 million. and we need to retail the game for $69.99.
Yeah, hopefully not.
And we need to take them on a retreat every Thursday. And we need to have Gordon Ramsay cater the kitchen for them. And
I wouldn't be too bad. I'd be down for that. No.
That's why games are $69. So
yeah,
you go ahead.
Full of big-hearted people that want to grow both professionally and personally. The culture needs to be as iterative as the way we make games. According to Wildflower's website, the studio is making smallish, creatively charged, uniquely stylized games that explore the possibilities of the medium. It is currently a fully remote work environment, and it's hiring for a number of positions, including a COO and studio manager. The existing team has worked on the Call of Duty series, A Pathless, Abzu, Astroneer, and Kena Bridge of Spirits. Straley said, "We've got an exciting partner that supports what we're doing and is going to help us reach the broadest audience possible. I'm super excited by what we're building over here. We're making something I've never played before." So
they don't have a executive staff?
No, I mean, like you said, it was just him and a few friends, and now they're getting things kicked off. So they are fresh.
Yeah, it sounds like they just got off the phone right before they made this press conference, this press release. So we're starting that company, right? Yeah. Okay, good. I'm going to start telling people. Click. We are starting a brand new venture. You know what I mean?
So I'm looking at their website, open positions. Yeah, they have a COO, studio manager, an audio designer, environment technical artist, character modeler, rigger, VFX artist, experienced gameplay and system designer, programmer, infrastructure tools, animator. So literally they need everything.
I was going to say, it sounds like all of it.
So yeah, it literally sounds like it's basically, you know, him and a couple of his friends who are like, hey, let's start a company. And yeah, now they're looking for people.
I mean,
now, does this get you excited at all? Like, do you know of Straley? Like, are you excited about his like?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is Bruce is no slouch as far as like gaming is concerned. Like him and Neil were always basically like left and right hands at Naughty Dog. Like they always worked together on games, which is why they usually turned out at the quality that they did. I think the only one that he hadn't worked on that Naughty Dog put out was Uncharted 4 because he had left before that one.
Okay.
If my timeline is correct, because I think Neil had to step in and finish directing that one because he left during that development. If I'm remembering that correctly.
Through which one? Which game was it?
I think he left during 4. Either during 4 or right after 4.
Okay. I wonder if it says on like Wikipedia here. Maybe it says, let's see. Yeah. So it was in 2014. It was announced that Straley and Druckmann were working on Uncharted 4 as game director and creative director. Initial reports claimed that Hennig was forced out of Naughty Dog by Straley and Druckmann, though Wells and Balestra later denied this. Straley presented gameplay. So yeah, it was during Uncharted 4. Oh, no. So it was after the release of Uncharted 4, Straley took a break from development. He did not return to direct Last of Us Part 2. So originally he was supposed to help direct Part 2 of Last of Us and didn't.
Yeah. They basically co-direct every game.
Yeah.
So Uncharted 4 was his last one. And yeah, like you said, he didn't come back. So
crazy. So he makes bangers. He's been involved with some banger games.
He has the track record. It's just odd that it feels like it's almost like a letter of intent to start a company versus actually stating that you started a company. But at the same time, there are very few people who have that kind of track record that can say something like that and attract a crew, because you can go back and you can look or you can play his portfolio and you can see that he's got the chops that he's talking about. He could back it up.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm interested to see what they come up with for sure.
Yeah, he's talking some big game here. He's starting to sound like Hideo Kojima. Like, I'm super excited. We're making something I've never played before. So we'll see.
Is he?
It'll be interesting to see. Did you just
crack the code? Is Bruce Straley making a Strand type game?
He's making a Strand type game, dude. No, because he's probably played Death Stranding. That's a game he's played before, so it can't be, right?
Of course. You know what I found out?
What'd you find out?
You know, like, average people, I'll say a lot of average people, or I should say the audience. You know how there's a lot of people that are like, oh, Death Stranding, I don't get it. I don't understand it. You just walk around, right? Whenever I see people who are in the industry of making games, or like they do this for a living, they always speak highly of Death Stranding. Every time. Like, I don't know if it's maybe you just have to be like a certain kind of, I don't know. Maybe that sounds a little like
elitist
in a sense, but maybe I shouldn't say you have to be. I should say maybe it's easier for people who are artistically inclined like that to be able to understand Death Stranding the way Kojima wants you to, or the way it's intended to, versus, you know, the person who is not necessarily in that world all the time. That kind of game is asking a lot of the player. It's really asking the average person to get out of their comfort zone. And I think for a lot of people, it didn't gel because they're not used to that. And, you know, humans don't like change.
Yeah.
But for some people, it did. Some people were willing to take that extra step, and they were rewarded for it. I don't know. Just an aside.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Like, I feel like, a lot more yeah, people in the industry are very like speak generally highly of Death Stranding and what was done there because it was so different. Like I almost feel like just the fact that Kojima was willing to like take a step and do something that was so different just totally fearlessly. Like I almost wonder if like some game developers just like almost are like not jealous of it, but just like, oh man, like he did it. He did what we all want to do. Like a lot of game developers are stuck in like, oh, we have to do this because PlayStation says so, or Xbox says so, or EA says so,
this is
or
what
whatever.
the market wants.
Where like yeah, I wonder if there's almost like a reverence there. Like he just did it. Like he wanted to do it and he did it, and that's awesome. Like, and you know what? He went for it, and it might be crazy, but you know, just almost like the fact that he even tried it. Yeah.
Sorry, I got off track, but I don't know. I've been thinking about that for a little while.
Yeah,
because I every time I see Death Stranding brought up, it's always like maybe 2 or 3 people. Oh, it sucks. Oh, you don't really do anything. It's not really a game. Blah 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 blah. I mean, we know better, but
we know better. Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, generally the public is like, yeah, they go to video games for just a comfort food. They want the same old thing over and over again because they're just going to like shut their brain off. And so,
which is not bad.
Is like,
that's me in Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Whenever I have a crappy day, I fire it up and I go right back in that village for a couple hours, and I feel great after I come back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I also appreciate, like you said, when people push the art form further. You can like both things.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think that's like a lot of people are like, they're so quick to just be like, oh, it's different, so it's trash. It's like, well, no, it's not trash. It's just not your taste. And that's fine.
You gotta broaden your horizons a little bit.
Yeah. Broaden your horizons, or hey, if you don't like it, then that's fine. You don't like it. But yeah. Cool. That's it for the news this week. Excited about what Bruce Straley is going to bring to us. The next, is he going to come up with a new genre? Maybe he's pulling a Kojima here. He's going independent, and he's just going to come up with like a new genre of video game for us to play. Who knows? I
mean, I'm definitely keeping my eyes on it, whatever he's doing, for sure.
Yeah, it will be interesting for sure. Who knows? Maybe I'll put out an application. I can go work for him.
Good.
It seems like they're looking for anyone and everyone.
Oh no, it's remote.
It's all remote positions too. So
that's right.
They are hiring for a VFX artist, and I'm not a VFX artist yet. But the other day I started relearning After Effects. I like know how to do really basic things, but I'm like,
You're close enough.
I want to learn how to actually use After Effects. So I've been tinkering with stuff, and it's been a lot of fun. So
you could JJ your way in there.
I'm sure I could. The
problem After Effects is a program. I know that. I think the company Adobe makes it.
Yeah. The problem is then they're like, all right, this game's coming out. You know, here's the deadline. Get your stuff ready. And I'm like, they walk into my office and I'm Googling how to do this in After Effects. And they're like,
Reddit. You got to put Reddit at the end or else you'll never figure it out.
Oh, man. That would be bad news. Just watching YouTube tutorials on how to use After Effects. Oh, shoot. I forgot to lock the door. Don't worry. I'm working on those particles.
I just needed references.
I know how to do this. I just wanted to make sure there wasn't like a more efficient way, you know? I'm just double checking.
Maybe somebody found something out, you know? You never know.
You never know. All right. That's it for the news this week. Now it is time for our Patreon ad. This is the part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us over there, starting at just $1 a month. $1, and you can get episodes early and ad-free from this show, from our other show, Super Gamer Book Club. Go check those out. You can get both of them for free as well if you want to kind of, obviously you're listening to this show, but go check out Super Gamer Book Club and see if you like it. And if you do, you could get up to date with that, because usually we delayed about 2 months. So you're getting old news. That was 2 months ago. So if you want to get up with the times, the cool kids. Go to patreon.com/supergamerboys. $5 a month, you can get show notes early and see what we're going to be talking about on our show. Heck, even leave your own comments, questions, concerns directly on the doc, talking about the news stories, answering the questions. You can be a part of the show that way. $10 a month, you're a sponsor. You get shout outs each and every show where we yell your names from the rooftop as our Super Gamer sponsor. And obviously the top dog, top tier level is the Patreon producer, where you can pitch us a segment, help make the show bigger, better, cooler, funnier, goofier, dumber, stupider. I don't know. Come up with a segment, send it to us. We'll give it a shot 99% of the time and have fun doing it. That's for sure. So support us at that. We are so close. Like literally, like we're like a Patreon sponsor. We're a Super Gamer sponsor away from starting up our new show, the Super Later Boys. So check it out. Think about it. $10 a month, you know.
I think we just gotta make that first episode and just drop it for free.
Oh yeah, no, we
gotta put the bait out there.
We gotta hey, this is what you're missing out on.
Sprinkle it, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Leave a trail.
Granted, they can go back. That was like a couple months ago we did that. We're like, hey, we don't want to talk about the news, and we just like chatted for an hour. It's essentially going to be like that, except maybe like a specific topic each show. But but yeah, so support us over there, patreon.com/supergamerboys. Also, if you are on Twitch, go over to twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. You can watch us live each Monday as we record. But you can also support us if you have Amazon Prime. That means you can link your Amazon to your Twitch, and you got Prime Gaming, and that gives you one free sub each month where you can throw it our way. Doesn't cost you anything. We get $5, and it helps support the show. So head over to twitch.tv/thesupergamerboys. Follow us. That's free. And then send us that free sub. That's also free and helps support our channel. All right. That's it. Now let's get back to the show. Alrighty, this is a part of the show where Adrian, I ask you, what you playing?
Dude, let me tell you about this game that somebody put me onto, and oh man, it is an experience. It's gonna sound so lame, but check it out. I don't know if you've heard of it. Have you heard of Power Wash Simulator?
Have I? I've been playing early access since like 6 months ago, dude. I've streamed it a couple times. I've been in Power Wash Simulator for a while now. In that game,
my God,
is phenomenal. I haven't played since they've gone because now it's like 1.0, like full version. I haven't played since then, but I've played all the early access stuff. It's a blast.
Dude, that game is so good. I feel like I can just pop in and just go to the free mode and just like we were just saying earlier, just take your brain and go and just no thoughts, just spraying. No thoughts, just cleaning. You know what I mean? Yep. I was playing the playground one and it took me like hours to clean it up. And I was like, oh, this is what I was looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love it. I love everything about it, man.
It sounds so stupid, and there's so many games like that. There's like the kitchen simulator, or cooking simulator. There's like lawn mowing simulator. There's like all these simulator games, which all are generally like the same thing, like taking a mundane task, but like making it gamifying it. And a lot of times, like they're fun, but there's something about this game that's actually like not just fun, but also like so cathartic and relaxing, and I love it.
It feels so good. It's so therapeutic.
Even the very first level, or no, not the first one. I think you wash the van. The second level, you wash like someone's house, and like going around and hitting all the cracks and crevices like around their patio and cleaning their shed and cleaning like the umbrella and cleaning the front and the back, the roof, like getting up on the roof of the ladder. And it's just like, oh my gosh, this game, like, it sounds so stupid.
It is the perfect way to de-stress after a day. Like when you have a big day at work or you have a lot going on, just come home, throw on some Power Wash Simulator and just clean.
Yeah. Love it.
I love that game.
Yes. That's that when I saw that finally like went 1.0, its official full release is out and it's on Game Pass even.
Yes.
Because originally it was PC only on Steam, but when it launched fully, it's on everything now. I think it's even on like PlayStation, Switch, and I don't know about Switch. It's on like, and then Game Pass as well. I'm like, that's a huge get. Like it sounds so stupid, but if you have Game Pass, go play that game.
Trust us on this one.
Yeah.
It's a good game. It's a great game.
Just to pop in a podcast and just go to town cleaning something. And
I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I guess it technically did come out this year. It's up there right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah. So a full release this year, like I said, it came out last year in like open like the early access stuff, but like full release, I would call that 2022. It just came out like a month ago or a couple weeks ago. So
this and Shredder's Revenge are up there for me right now.
What a bizarre list. Imagine
this,
like
Shredder's Revenge, and we're breaking the rules for the Cuphead DLC. Like those are like top 3 slots right now.
Imagine like at the Game Awards, like announcing the nominees for Game of the Year and Power Wash
nominees
Simulator. I would love to hear the Game Awards kind of like symphony orchestra playing
Jeff
like
Keighley.
a theme from Power
No, they don't
Wash
even play anything. They just have a guy come out like and just spray a power washer. Maybe like he sprays it to the beat or something like that.
Just
yeah. And then their orchestra is playing behind them. I don't know.
Fantastic.
What a game. What a game.
I love it. Yeah, that's one I want to play more. I like. There's been so many times where, I'll come down to my office at night and be like, I need to just decompress and play a game. Like, maybe I'll stream some Power Wash Simulator, and then inevitably I end up finding something else to play. But that's been one of those games where like it's a perfect streaming game too. I feel like because it's just so chill and relaxed. It's a good streaming game if you want to do like a just chatting stream because it's just like, hey, come on in. We're just chilling, cleaning some,
just busting some suds, man.
Yeah. So good. Love it.
Now, it has multiplayer.
I didn't know that. See, I don't think it did in early access.
Yeah, I don't know if they added it in recently, but it does have multiplayer now. Just throwing that out there.
We'll need to do a little multiplayer action on that and stream us cleaning up some dirty
I'm absolutely
things.
Down.
So good. Well, I've been playing the demo so I don't know if I'm saying this right. Live Alive?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been playing the demo for this.
I am so excited to hear what you think, dude, because I've heard nothing but incredible things about this.
Yeah. So that same here. I heard so much incredible. I heard so it was originally like an NES game or something like that, or only in Japan.
So it's a Super Nintendo game that only got released in Japan. I played a fan translation of it, which was really, really bad translation of it. But it was better than nothing, of course.
Yeah.
You play as 8 different characters in like their own little mini. So basically, you're getting like 8 mini games. I think they're maybe like 4 or 5 hours a piece, if that. Okay. Yeah, and it's a lot of different settings and characters and stories and. Yeah. Okay. I'm.
Yeah. So they have a new remaster of it out, where it is with full English translation and everything. The new like 2.5D, like the 2D HD look to it. And
Octopath.
Octopath Traveler type thing. I don't know if I imagine it's rescored like music and everything. Let me tell you. So in the demo. I've only played the demo so far. I think I'm sold, so I'm probably gonna end up buying the full version because you can't play the whole mission. But I've tried the Japanese one, it's like feudal Japan, like ninja one, and then I just started the one in the China, in China, where you're the like not kung fu. Something like that, but some like martial arts master, and you're like looking for a protege to like pass on your skills to, it's a gorgeous game. It's so much fun. The combat system is really interesting. I haven't played a ton of like classic JRPGs before, but I love like it's turn based, but it has like the I don't know how to explain it. Like
it's kind of like
it's not it's yeah. So it's not like you go, then the next person goes. You go, then it's like depending on what ability they're going to use. Like they have like a little bar that charges up, and when it gets full, okay, then it's their turn. Then they fulfill their ability, whatever it is. So each ability essentially costs a certain amount of like action points or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Or time points, like a certain amount of
Active
time
battle.
turns. So yeah, that's what like I've been playing through that, and dude, I've been having a freaking blast. It's hard. Like there's some areas where it's like I got in too deep, like I'm getting ahead of myself with like battles and stuff like that. But oh man, like it is so fun. I love the range of like the different stories. Like yeah, like you were saying, there's I think there's one that's like a Wild West cowboy one. There's one that's
there's
like,
one where you play as a robot in the future.
Yeah, so that one's in the demo. I haven't played it yet, but I was like, what the heck? Like so all over the place. I don't know.
There's one you play as a you go way back in like prehistoric time and you play as a caveman. Did you play that one? There's a shinobi one.
No, the shinobi one. So that's the one the one in Japan that I'm playing. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it looks so cool. Like all the different areas. So I'm excited to dump more into it. I'm excited to get the full version, like because so in the shinobi one, like I got to the point where it's like, okay, this is the end of the demo, like buy the full game, and I'm like, dang it. So that's what I started the one in China with the martial arts master. But it's a blast, beautiful game, awesome soundtrack, fun combat. I'm still kind of figuring out the combat. I've had a few little things where it's like, oh, this is kind of like tricky to anticipate like what's going on, or even like little like just menus and symbols I don't understand yet. But again, that's probably just a lack of experience on my end with like classic JRPGs. Like most of my JRPG knowledge is more modern. But yes, I highly recommend this game so far. Again, I'm playing the demo. I'm excited to get the full version and kind of report back with like after I complete a chapter or two or something like that. Because you said they're short experiences. So I'm stoked to be able to like kind of get through a couple and see what happens. But now they're not, are the stories tied together, or are they like completely separate, or is that kind of like a secret, or okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure if there was like a big reveal at the end where it's like, it's all the same, like whatever, like, lineage or something like that.
Even if I knew, I wouldn't spoil. I mean, even if I wouldn't spoil that for you. So
cool. Yeah.
Why would I ruin the experience?
Well, that's why I asked, and I was like, that's so I was going to say, like, if it is, like, you don't have to say, you don't have to sell, but then you said it wasn't. So,
yeah. No, I'm right there with you. I basically will be playing it for the first like real time now, because I actually get to see what they intended to say and not somebody's broken translation, and having to try to figure out how to play the game on my own. Because as hard as this one is, I was basically playing with no button prompts or anything like that. Just
I couldn't imagine
what people said on GameFAQs.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I remember popping pretty hard when the first one, or when the announcement came out that they were remaking it, because this game definitely deserves a second chance, or just a chance over here at all. I don't know why they didn't want to take a chance on it when they were releasing every other JRPG on Super Nintendo. But hey, it's here now. They remade it from the ground up basically, and I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it. So the more people that get to play it, the better.
Yeah. It's one for like, okay, and if you're on the fence, like check out the demo. That's what I'm doing. But immediately I'm like, oh, I'm in. Even just from the art style, I'm a sucker for that 2.5D like HD look. Like it is it's gorgeous and so fun, awesome. And it just makes for like, I love, because it still feels like retro and like it has that classic feel while looking like it belongs on a Nintendo Switch OLED, like it looks beautiful.
I can't wait for Dragon Quest 3 to come out, because they're doing that for that game, and it's gonna look so good,
dude.
Oh,
so good. So yeah, that's what I've been playing, and that's probably what I'm going to be buying. Is that a new segment? What you buying? Live Alive. I'm buying Live Alive. Now the name is a little weird. I don't know if I don't understand the naming scheme, but maybe I need to do more research. Like what is that? Like I'd like to. I'm curious what it would actually be in Japanese. Is it really? Okay.
Mhm.
So that's not like a weird translation thing to English?
No, it's
Okay.
always been Live Alive.
Interesting. Cool. Well, that's all I got for the show this week. Thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. All of you who watch over at youtube.com/supergamerboys, everyone who listens on our podcast services around the world. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you would so kindly go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. You can support us over there. Help us to keep making these cool shows, keep making more cool shows. We really couldn't do a lot of this stuff without you guys. So thank you so much. Even though without the support, we'd still do it. It'd just be a lot more dumbed down. That's for sure. So you guys help us make cool stuff and, add some cool flair and production value to it, or, help buy a game here and there, or, help kind of at least break even on this whole podcasting thing. Because video games aren't cheap, cameras aren't cheap, whatever we're doing,
Not in the slightest.
This world in general is not cheap. So thank you so much for that. If you also want to help us out, you can go over to sgbstore.com and you can get some merch. We got coffee mugs, we got t-shirts, we got stickers, whatever you might need over there. We got it for the most part. Go check it out. It's a lot of fun. We've got some cool logo stuff. My favorite is a mug with our beautiful mugs on it. So go check that out. Shout out to Jack Sriracha and Yate once again for allowing us to use their music on our show. Find them over on Spotify and Apple Music. Links in the show description below to their Spotify. And give them all the love and support. Please, please, please. You can find us during the week at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. And Adrian, where can they find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere at Homeboy.
All right. That's all I got. So without further ado, Adrian, do you mind taking us out?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to another episode of Super Gamer Boys for this week. We appreciate you all for hanging out with us. For the two of us and just the two of us, not the three of us. Again, the two of us, which is comprised of Garrett, the Colonel Morlang, and myself, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. We are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we will catch you on the flippity flop.
Rest in peace, Choco Taco.
Oh, so sad.
Did you hear they just discontinued it?
So sad. Rest in peace.